All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Hard Reads. I am TKbreezy. Join along with Austy, obviously, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. We are here doing the thing. Today, not really a lot of Smash news to be talking about, obviously. Smash news has kind of been dropping because, we're running out of, we only have online events. And even though I think there is a couple of locals that are now starting to open up, it's still just not enough to really talk about. So, with that being said, we will be talking about what is a big subject throughout the world, and that is Black Lives Matters. I'm TKbreezy, Austy. Austy, how you doing today, man?
As good as I can in the state of the world right now. But yeah, you know, how it is. As TK said, that not much has really happened in Smash because literally you go on Twitter, you go on any social media site, it's about the protests and what's going on in the world. So we felt that it would be good to talk about that today instead. There was that Smash tournament that happened over the weekend, the randoms that Nairo won. No one was shocked that Nairo won.
Oh
But
yeah. Well, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I was commenting. That was pretty good. It was, big shots to Nairo. I mean, he slapped it too. It wasn't even really close. The only thing I can say about that was the Nairo got Palutena on one of his picks, and then he said he was upset that he got Palutena because it put more pressure on him to win. Shut up. Like, shut up, dude. I would love to get my character in a random character match. Like, come on, bro. What are you talking about?
I could get behind that train of thought.
Nah, I can't. I can't though. I can't though. Like, that's just that was a very interesting way to put that. So, um, but yeah, man. Guys, if you have just showed up for my stream, big shout outs for y'all coming through. Um, from my stream, obviously. We were just doing some Shark Tank. We have a bunch of other talk shows to do today, but as they will be talking about Black Lives Matter now. If you have not really been keeping up with what's going on, obviously, I can do a small rundown for you of why everything is going down with the way that it is. So there's a man by the name of George Floyd who was unlawfully pretty much killed by the police while pleading for his life, saying that he couldn't breathe. There's the officer had his knee on his neck. There's many videos of people pleading for him to get his knee off of his neck because you could clearly see the man was in distress. Like he was face down on the ground, couldn't move, in distress. Many officers around. Actually, there's been pictures showing that there's been multiple officers that were actually holding him down at one point in time. Many officers around not doing anything, not saying he was detained. Like he wasn't going anywhere. He had been detained. Whatever. This lasted for almost 9 minutes. And by the time they had moved him, obviously the man had already asphyxiated, probably pronounced dead before he even got into the ambulance. That is only one of a large list of unjust and unlawful killing of minorities, but as of right now, Black people from the police. And because of that, you try to peacefully protest. You try to ask nicely. Can we stop having this happen? Can we, get some reform in some way or another, or one way or another? And it doesn't work. So now you have what you have, and that is people, protesting. Most of them are trying to do it, peacefully, but some of them are not. Some of them I've been sick of being peaceful. Some of them are going about, with I guess the more riot versions of the protests. But I can't blame those people, man. Like we've been, as a 30-year-old man, I've been dealing, I've been Black my entire life. We have dealt with these injustices for longer than I've been alive. And, people I've seen, all kind of crazy tweets trying to go against the movement and, or trying to demonize the movement, make it seem like that Black people should not be upset, should not get justice. That just because one officer has been charged finally, that everything is okay when it's not okay, because there's millions of other cases out there, thousands of other cases out there of officers getting away with what they got away with, or with actions that they've done against Black people, such as George Floyd, but they got away with it. I mean, and there's just multiple stories coming out, more and more stories coming out every day. I find out about another Black person who has been put under, or who has died under circumstances that have to deal with the police, and the police just kind of they get a slap on the wrist, like, oh, you killed this man, we'll give you extended leave, but it's with pay. We're not going to fire you, we're not going to charge you, just you can't hang out for a little bit. and that's just that just it's just
up.
not good enough. It's not good enough.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw in the chat, but I did see a tweet earlier today. The other 3 cops that were just watching as it happened were
Uh-huh.
charged today.
That's
So
good.
there's progress. That's literally all people want is for there to just be justice, for someone to police the police. For everyone always talks about how like all lives matter, or cops. There's not all cops are bad. Blah 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 blah. But the problem is, like, yes, there are the bad apples within the police force, but the issue is that the good cops are not enforcing that. Like they're just standing idly by. I saw a quote earlier today that talked about how if you have 1,000 cops and one cop does something bad and the other 999 don't do anything about it, then you have 1,000 bad cops. So that's literally the reason this is all happening, why this is exploding, is because it's like enough is enough. On top of the COVID thing, a lot of people are unemployed, majorly in the minority as well. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have free time on their hands because of the current state of affairs. So that's why like people are going out in record numbers. All 50 states of the country have a protest of some fashion happening, and it's just people just want to be heard. They want people to listen. That's all they had to do, and they're basically protesting police brutality. And instead, the police escalate things, so it keeps getting worse every day.
Yeah, and it's
So
not even like, see, the thing is, the more that I'm like reading up about it and being educated about it, is that like the answers to the protests, to the regular protests, just the ones where people marching the streets or whatever, are answers to stifle it. You can clearly see the agenda here is to stifle the protests, and not to keep people safe or protect and serve. It is to stifle it. You have curfews that are getting closer and closer to like basically noon. Like they don't even want people out at noon. Like there was a curfew that was indicted in, I think, in LA, where the curfew was at like 2 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like what the
it's 1
fuck?
p.m. now.
Is 1 p.m. now? See, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like it's going further and further. So if you're out past that time, they want they're basically just stifling anyone who is out protesting after that time. So and then they're stifling people who aren't even protesting. Some people are actually just trying to get home, and they're getting pulled over, they're getting arrested and things like that. So to me, I feel like not only has the mainstream media been trying to like shift the narrative, where if you see from the mainstream media, you see more articles of looters and rioters and things like that. When again, if you have been watching enough of Black Twitters, or black influencers and things, you see that most of the looters are actually, or most of the things that you're seeing that you're not seeing from the mainstream media are white looters, or agents of chaos, just breaking shit to be breaking shit. Like they're not part of the cause. They're just dudes out there trying to kind of diminish the cause because they know that it's going to get seen. If 100 black people walking down the street, okay, and one person breaks a window, you know what I mean? No one sees it, but they're going to blame that group of people. Like that's what's going to happen, and that is what's been going on with a decent amount of these looters and protesters. You've seen people who definitely have nothing to do with Black Lives Matters showing up, grabbing stuff from Target, grabbing stuff from stores, breaking windows and things like that, just to be breaking stuff. And that right there, like, it is definitely the mainstream media, in my opinion, trying to shift the narrative to show that, oh, none of this matters, or they're just doing this to be evil. There's no justice, no peace, none of that stuff, whatever. They're not even trying to get justice. They just want no peace, and that's just not the case. I've seen way more videos of silent protests being broken up by police that will never ever see mainstream media, because all the mainstream media is focused on is people disobeying curfew when most of them are probably not even trying to, and then also the rioting, the looting that is happening, that is not even a majority of what is actually going on.
Yeah. Uh, Bro, have you seen like people like they're planting like bricks and stuff, and they're like there's like video footage of police officers who are grabbing bricks and putting them near protesters for them to get insensitized to like actually pick them up and throw them. or
Yeah.
just like, white supremacists are organizing events to go to those events to wreak havoc and cause an upstir.
Yeah.
And it's like it's almost like a setup, and thank God for the internet, because if this happened like 30 years ago, like we would never see what's actually happening out there. Just the media would cover what they want to cover because they're all owned by some CEO or another, and it's just very dreadful out there. And basically, the reason that we wanted to run this topic on for today is because we want smashers, or people in the FCC or whatever. Like, I personally want people to open their eyes. I think it's really, really easy, especially during these times, to just like hide yourself in video games, Smash, away from Twitter, away from the internet, away, just try to like, not look at it, because it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant to look at. And there's a lot of young people in the Smash community, so a lot of them don't really understand what's actually at stake here. And more and more corporations and personalities outside of Smash, or just out in general, are raising awareness to this, because it is coming to, it's that big of a deal. Like, this is not just a political move. This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with just justice. Like, that's it. That's all it is. And I don't know if you saw, like, people, they made those announcements where video game companies are delaying their announcements that they were going to make, like, during the E3-esque time, in favor of, focusing on what actually matters. And if you look at those comments, there's nothing but angry gamers underneath. I can't believe you guys are doing this, blah, blah, blah. Like, it looks like I'm not buying a PlayStation, something, stuff like that. And it's like, those are the people that need to see this the most. So I'm glad that game companies are doing that. And other companies, they're trying to put more focus on what's actually happening. Yeah.
But they need it. I mean, again, like I was talking about this earlier today too. You have to do more. Like, I tweeted this. I've been tweeting a lot about this, but I tweeted this earlier today about you have to do more. Like, I don't want to just see some fucking some PR clear tweet about Black Lives Matter. I want to know what else internally are you doing to make this a thing? Like, are you going to fire anyone that has been spewing racist shit? Are you going to diversity hire without it being like just some token diversity hire just because you have no Black people in office and you want to do your part? Are you going to change potentially your ways of distribution? Are you going to look more into minorities just in general? Not even about just Black people. Are you going to look more on the minorities just in general? I don't care to see Sony, to see Nintendo, to see Pokemon, to see GameSpot, Kotaku, or whatever just put out a tweet. I want to see what else they're doing after that. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, so I have not really been liking any of the tweets of the things that I saw Nintendo tweeted today. Great for them. What else are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I just saw now 50 minutes ago, Pokemon has retweeted as well. Or tweeted as well. Great for them. What else are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And so at this point in time, like, I'm happy that it is being acknowledged, but as I said in my tweet, for how long? Like, I don't want to just see this for the week. Fucking Chauvin gets, I guess his due diligence, and then everyone just goes back to normal, because it's still not going to go back to normal. It's only going to go until the next person gets killed. It needs an example needs to be set to where this is just not okay. And I don't think a riot needs to happen every time a Black person is killed by the police, because people are getting killed by police all the time. But I think that the first thing that needs to happen, to be completely honest, is police reform. You know what I'm saying? I think there needs to be some different qualifications for who can become a cop, and not. There needs to be some mental checks. There needs to be background checks. And I just feel like that there probably is, maybe that is happening, but I don't think it's happening to a level that is definitely clearing the good people, or the good apples from the bad apples. There's people out there that are just racist cops waiting to do stuff. There's people out here who just want to be cops just so they can show their power. And you can see that being in full display from these cops that are just pushing around protesters after they have like followed the orders that the cops have given. I've seen many videos of the cops saying, move it along or whatever, and the people are moving back, and the cop still runs over and pushes them with their shield or hits them with their baton. For what reason, though? Like, for what reason? That right there to me is just you exercising the power that you have, because if you weren't a cop and you were doing that, then that would be against the law. You know what I'm saying? It'd literally be against the law. You are now, that's battery, assault and battery right there. You're going to get arrested. But because you have the blue uniform on, you're allowed to do that, and you're exercising your power to do that, and that's fucked up, straight up.
Yeah.
So
they are the law,
Yeah.
It's any sort of reform, I don't think the protests are going to end anytime soon. I think even if all 4 of them get convicted, the protests are still going to continue, because it's not just happening in the United States. It's happening all around the world. A lot of countries are also doing it, because look at that. There's racism happening in other countries. It's not just limited to America. Yes, it's way huger in the United States, but it's happening all over, and it's really cool to see people coming together for stuff like that. I don't foresee protests ending for extremely long time. I'm sick of people capitalizing on what's happening out there. Like you said, people going out there, people looting because they see an opportunity, people influencers going out there and posing like they're helping reconstruction or stuff like that. And
That shit is blowing me.
I could not believe that when I saw that shit, because we live in that culture, right? A lot of millennials these days want that act of, look how much good I'm doing because I posed for a fucking picture and then I'm not actually doing anything. And then there's that one where it was a woman grabbing a drill from someone who was actually doing work.
I saw that. That was the one that most people are seeing.
Yeah, they pretend that she would and then give it back to the person who's actually doing the fucking work. So
and hopped in her Mercedes after that, bro. All right, you all right? Yeah, man. Seen a lot of that. I saw another one today where there was a guy who was the bad boy aesthetic. Basically, he was on TikTok. He went out to the protest just to get nice pictures of being in front of broken buildings and stuff, or walking the march and whatever. And then he I think he broke something on purpose to get arrested so he can get a picture of that. And that, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Not only are you taking away from our cause, our just cause, but you're also making yourself just a straight up fucking idiot in the process. And I don't understand. There's so many other ways to get clout. That's not the way. This is not a movement for clout. This is a movement for change. And I anyone saying it otherwise, it's fucking wrong. Just straight up, you're just wrong. So I don't know, man. There's so much wrong with the world in multiple facets, but the way we're trying to fix it right now is this, and again, I do not condone people who are actually looting and are also part of the Black Lives Matter movement, but I do understand why it's happening, straight up.
Yeah.
I do understand why it's happening. I wouldn't do it myself. I don't want to see it. I would like another way, but I 100% understand why it's happening, and it's going to continue to happen until things get better. They were talking about this recently. After Martin Luther King had got assassinated, they rioted for 9 days, and that's after that's when the Civil Rights Act was passed. So yeah, change does come from this. Y'all act like it could have happened an easier way. Y'all could have just asked, but we've been asking. Black people have been asking, and we have tried to be peaceful about it, but it isn't listened to. So sometimes you got to do it by force.
Riots are the voice of the unheard. Also, phrasing a sentence a certain way is also extremely important. A lot of people are saying it's a shame what happened to George Floyd, but the riots are unacceptable. That's the incorrect thought process. What it should be is, it's a shame that there's riots happening, but George Floyd was murdered by a cop. That's that's what people should be thinking. It's all about yes, the riots are terrible. Yes, it's not good that people are looting. It's absolutely terrible. But I'd rather have all that if we get change for reform. Especially when it's happening to corporations. Who gives a shit about Target? Really.
I think one of the bigger things too that I saw Astro Takes was talking about is that, so it's nice that the officers that stood around are also getting charged, but I think that the first corner, and as Astro Takes said, I think they need to be charged too. They straight up lied. You know what I mean? oh, he was. They straight up lied and tried to shift the narrative. And not only did they say he wasn't asphyxiated, but they also were like, oh, and potential, drug usage in his system. Like, how fucked up is that? Dude dies, and the first thing I'm trying to do is pin it on drugs. When we have a 9-minute video seeing this man plead for his life, saying that he can't breathe, seeing him go unconscious. Like, come on, bro. That's actually OD, and I feel like that in itself is a crime. I don't know what type of cover up they thought they were going to get, but I'm glad that there was a private coroner that was hired to actually get the facts. And we didn't just let it die there. I mean, it's as simple as day to just look and see, but to watch them try to cover that up was bullshit, straight up.
Imagine if there wasn't video footage, like they would have gotten away with it 100%. They're still almost getting away with it. That's the problem. We have irrefutable evidence about this dude, just his hands in his pocket, knee on the guy's neck, and he's still took this long. Yeah, we video proof. So like, if we didn't have that, like, there'd be no case whatsoever. Like, they just don't care. They can make the rules, So I think with Smash, right, it's really cool that a lot of Smashers are addressing this. A lot of top personalities have been talking about this very early on. I was kind of surprised about it, to be honest. I thought people were going to try to, like, not talk about it, or they had some contract with some team that says they're not allowed to talk about politics. But it was really cool to see people bringing it up, because I feel like Smash and the FGC are, like, one of those fields that, like, is super diverse, in comparison to, like, literally so much else out there in the world. I think that's something special about it. Like look at, like, I don't know, like Overwatch League, or something like that, where it's like white, token black person, white, Asian, white, for like the stuff they hire. Meanwhile, you go over to, like, Nintendo with Smash, and they, like, it's all over. It's the rainbow. So it's one of those really cool things I see, and I'm really proud of the community for actually stepping up and, like, using their voice for good,
Dude, that's another thing. It's like, so as far as Smash goes, you can almost see the hierarchy of like America within games that are also being commentated. Like, Smash is a broke boy esports for sure. At the top of the commentary chain is a bunch of black people, because it's a broke boy esports. You go to these more expensive games, and what do you see? It's not a black person in sight. You know what I mean? Like, the only person I think of color that ever gets any of these more expensive games, it's like Golden Boy, and then you have Golden Boy and, like, Malik Forte. Those are, like, the two big, like, people of color, commentators or hosts for things that, like, are included from, like, Fortnite or, like, League and things like that. And even then, you don't even see them that much. And I know that, like, obviously there's probably interest and stuff that shift or whatever, but that, like, disparity is, like, almost the same. It's almost like a world disparity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have all of us picking the games that we played because, some of us probably didn't have the funds to get nice computers and stuff to play computer games back in the day. I definitely was not a computer user until I was, like, I don't know. I didn't start playing computer games until I was like 12 or 13. So, and even then, I was still choosing consoles and stuff. So consoles, the cheaper alternative. A lot of the minorities will gravitate toward things such as fighting games, which are primarily played on consoles and things like that, because that's what we know. But, like, it always interests me to see, like, the disparity of when you get higher up in games in money, like, how much less diverse it is. Like, I can't tell a CS:GO commentator from another one from just listening to their voice. But, like, when it comes to Smash, within five seconds I can tell who's commentating without even having to ask. So, diversity, man, it's nice.
It is super nice. Like, the more money there is involved in a product, the more white it gets. Like, that's just the nature of it. It saddens me, because I've seen those corporations, like, reach out to people, to, like, I remember there was a time when D1 was hit up for a Blizzard gig in the past, and D1 mentioned that there was a time when, like, he thought maybe he was getting it up because he was black. Like they wanted to fill that token black role. So it made him feel it made him feel some type of way.
Probably facts. That's probably facts. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it past Blizzard to do some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
For sure. So like it's probably facts that was what was going on there. But that sucks too, because like the thing is, you don't want to be the token, you don't want to be the token, but also you don't want to turn down an opportunity that can help you further your career. So it is a hard gamble, but I think if I was in D1's shoes, I don't like Overwatch, so I wouldn't want to learn it just to also be the token black and then have to deal with this community who has been inherently racist, just in general. If you ever played a game of Overwatch and just had voice chat on, it's a very sexist, racist area. So I don't see why I would want to subject myself to being now on the screen where these same people can just say crazy shit about me. And if I get anything wrong at any point in time, yeah, it's like not only is he black, but now he's stupid. I don't want to deal with that. So,
bro, that's
I'm good.
That's like every shooter too. Like I don't know if you've touched like Valorant at all, but like the comms are awful.
Yeah, I stopped playing Valorant before rank came out, so yeah, I'm good on that. Either way, though, we got a little more time left, so let's go ahead and get through these users' questions real quick. We only got 3 this time, which is very telling. No, I'm kidding. Obviously,
I thought so. No, I'm not kidding. Like, I actually thought that was kind of telling. Like, I mean, have you noticed like your follower count gone down hardcore in the past week?
No, my follower count just went back up. So
okay, I've lost.
I went from I was at like 73 to like 72, and now I'm at 74 or 73. I was at 73.2 or 3, and then I was at 73.2, and then I'm at 73.4. But that's because everyone's doing that virtue signaling. Here are some black followers that you should follow. And I if this works and people start showing up to the stream, then by all means, fucking great. But the thing is, I've been existing, and I don't think it should have taken you this moment to like realize that I've been out here. I've been streaming for 7 fucking years, dude. Like, I don't need your shout outs, like I've been existing. These people should have been able to find me. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on multiple large name broadcasts to where you could have been like, oh, I wonder what else this guy does. So yeah, I don't know, man. If this keeps going on, then thank you. But if this is only going to happen right now and you're going to just not ever mention me again, not ever communicate with me again, that's a virtue signal. That's a virtue signal, bro. So anyway, moving on. Sagar Patel says, as someone who is in full support of the protest against the police, the pessimist in me still thinks the protest will ultimately lead to only minor changes and not systemic changes we need. Are these worries warranted, or am I just being a negative Andy? Hashtag Black Lives Matter. First of all, big shout out to Saga Rumil. I think they're warranted, but at the same time, like we got to go in with some form of positivity. Like, I definitely can see you being skeptical over change only happening a little, because that's kind of how change has been going. We are still suffering from slavery, which ended almost 200 years ago, or more than over 200 years ago, and we're still seeing the after effects of that. We're still seeing racism. We're still seeing people see black people as less than. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie and say that things have not got better. I don't feel like I can't go anywhere that where black people aren't. And I feel like for the most part, most people that I associate with that are not black do not have an issue with me being black. However, for the people, it is very easy to see that not everyone feels like that. I had someone straight up threaten me on Twitch saying that, or not on Twitch, but on Twitter saying that, oh yeah, I'd shoot you with a 45 ACP. First of all, I don't know what gun that is. I don't know what gun that is. I don't pay attention to guns. I don't know what gun that is. Second, say shoot, not shot, you idiot. But like, there are people that are still out there like that. And even if it was for jokes, the fact that was the way that you went, that means that your mindset is fucked. So yeah, man. I mean, I understand your skepticism, but even if the change goes little by little, it's still change that we're trying to influence. So yeah.
This is going to go in the history books, back in 2050, 2060, that this is like going to be like an entire chapter, in the history book. So it's a big deal. There's going to be some form of change no matter what. Like, the question is, how big will it be,
Yeah. 1865, bro. We are now in 2020, bro. Not even 200 years yet. So yeah, we're still dealing with the repercussions of that. Mm-hmm. And I could not imagine living in a time around 1865 when slavery just got abolished. You know, how the rest of America was looking at newly freed slaves. Like, I couldn't even imagine going back. So,
I mean, this country was founded on racism, and they, stole from the Native Americans when they came here. So, like, it's hard to like get those roots out. It's gonna take another probably 100 years for it to be like completely
and I keep saying, dude, that argument of like, I'm so tired of people saying, well, if you don't like it, move. Like, you didn't start here, like you guys did not start here. Y'all came over here and usurped this area, and then y'all brought us over here. It wasn't like we were, promised anything when we came over here. And I'm not saying that like, oh, it would have been greater in Africa. I don't fucking know. But what I'm saying is like, you can't use that argument of, oh, well, go back, when the whole reason like we are here is because of you. White people who on that logic are tripping me out, because it's like you're trying to get credit for problems you've caused. White males have caused most problems, most of the problems of racism or systemic oppression, just in general. Against women. You know what I'm saying? Misogyny against women, racism against other classes. The biggest perpetrator of that is white males. So to act like you're doing anything, to help by the little shit that you're doing is not enough, because that's the problem that you fucking caused. You know what I mean? Racism happened because of you. You brought us over here and didn't have us be full citizens for however many years. And then by the time it was full citizens, you have all these people who are stuck in their fucking ways, who don't want to change. And they're teaching, the younger generation that these people are less than. And then they're going to teach the younger generation that these people are less than. So it's going to be a long time until slavery or slavery like ends up not being an issue, until racism stops being an issue. Because there's always going to be someone who carries that fucking old ancient ideology into the new generation.
Yeah, racism's taught. Like, you're not born with it.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to our next question. We have Hans Yolo saying, how else do you think the Smash community can support Black Lives Matter movement aside from streams? Just being conscious. I think there's not like one that, like, the thing is, like, you don't have to be out in the trenches, right? You don't have to be out in the trenches, with your sign saying Black Lives Matter, whatever. All you need to do is call out racism when you see it and be conscious of when racism is happening. I think that is like 90% of the way there, right there. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to, fight. You don't have to fight racists or whatever. You don't have to go out looking for a fight for racists or whatever. Just be conscious of what is going on, and call it out when you see it.
I think teaching is also incredibly important. I think there's still so many people in this country that don't get it. It's like they're not naturally bad at heart, but they don't really understand what's happening. Like, I can give you a story, an anecdote. A couple days ago, I had a family member who told me all lives matter when I was talking with them. And that came from a place of ignorance. It came from a place of not really understanding. And so I had to explain to them how, saying all lives matter when someone says Black Lives Matter is such a terrible thing to say, because you're just missing them. You're saying that, like, oh, all lives matter. Like, what do you mean? Of course, no fucking duh, all lives matter. Of course, that's fucking true. But we need to focus on what's happening.
Videos. I've seen so many videos explaining this in such easy ways. And so at this point in time, if you are continuing to say all lives matter
educate yourself
as an answer to Black Lives Matter, then you want to be ignorant. You want to be ignorant, and I'm gonna let you do that. Like, at some point in time, when you are given the facts and you still choose to be willfully ignorant, I'm not going to argue with you anymore. I'm not going to. It is not my time to try to change your mind, because your mind has been made up, and the only thing that's going to change your mind is time. and I don't. It's not my. I don't have the time to spend on one person. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. You know. So if I put the all Black Lives Matter out there, you come out with, well, what about all lives matter? Sick, bro. What we're saying is we are not equal to the all lives. When you say all lives matter, you are definitely like that is Black Lives Matter is saying that basically like these are all the lives right here, right? These are all the lives, but this section of lives right here are marginalized. We're getting treated unfairly. So if by us saying Black Lives Matter, it is like also Black Lives Matter. Not only Black Lives Matter, it's also Black Lives Matter. And until Black Lives Matters or until Black people are being treated fairly, then you can't say all lives matters. Or until minorities just in general are being treated fairly, you can't really just say all lives matter and think that that's going to cover what Black Lives Matter is trying to cover. That's not how it works.
And I think people also forget that all lives matter was created by a white supremacist. That statement, a white supremacist made that statement up. So just food for thought.
And they don't even mean that, dude. I think that's just that's most white people's ways of just saying white lives matter, because you don't care for these other minorities. You don't care for these Asians. You don't care for these Hispanics. You don't care for the Middle Easterns. You care about the white people who systemically the system has worked for you the entire time you've been alive. You know, and I won't even say I was going to say in America, but the entire time you've been alive, when you're in Britain or when you're in Europe, worked for you. You guys came over here, still worked for you. We came over here, didn't work for us, and it still has not worked for us. And that's all we want is the system to work for everyone equally. But until then, Black Lives Matter, bro.
God forbid we focus on the Black Lives Matter movement when I have roads I need fixed. You know, that's what it is. Like they still have problems. And they want the problems to get fixed first because that's all they care about. They don't actually care.
Yeah. We got one more question from Equalist Agenda saying, how do you see the esports FGC community moving forward with all that's happened? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really too worried about esports FGC community right now. We will persevere. You know, like right now, with COVID and with these riots and protests going on, not only the second wave of COVID is definitely happening for sure. Doesn't matter.
There's no way.
So right now, I think that's the least of my worries. I don't care about when the next time I'm going to a tournament. It sucks that I'm not going to tournaments, but with the current state of the world, I'm not really too worried about. I'm not really too worried about what's going on. So yeah, we will move on when things calm down. You know, no one's dying. The community is still there. Or not no one's dying. You know what I mean? But like no one's no game is dying. The community is still there, and we will resume normal functions when things are normal again.
Yeah.
So
same answer. Yeah. Like there's literally we're still playing the waiting game. I think people are going to be more conscious about what's happening around them when we come back. Like I think like that first big tournament, there's going to be a lot more people wearing masks. There's going to be people like, you know, washing their hands more, probably maybe bring some hand sanitizer on top of, you know, just being more cleanly. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for this episode of Hard Reads. Thank you guys. 100 viewers, man. Very nice. We kept a pretty consistent 100 viewers. So I know a decent amount of y'all probably came over from the stream. But if you is this your first time to Hard Reads, make sure you hit that follow button. We do this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Usually talk about a lot of Smash stuff, but obviously not a lot of Smash stuff going on. So I think as of right now, we'll probably just be talking about what is going on in the world. Plus, you know, maybe throw a little sprinkle of Smash if something happens throughout the weekend. We appreciate you very much. So keep on supporting those Black lives. Keep on speaking out against racial injustices. Keep on speaking out against injustice in general. Happy Pride Month. Do not forget. I know that Black Lives Matters and the George Floyd protests have really been taken over June, but June is Pride Month as well. So not only look to, you know, be an activist for Black people, but look to be an activist for the LGBTQ IA plus community as well. As you know, we're not in the same struggle, but we are definitely still going through the struggle of being marginalized as people. Yeah, that's all I can really say, man. You got any final words?
I think we're just random thought that popped into my head. I think we're approaching the year anniversary of this show.
Yeah,
like we started in June of 2019.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh. That is kind of crazy. I have to look back and see. I have to look back and see the first episode I saved, I guess, or something like that. Well, I guess I don't think I saved the first episode, so I'd have to look back to see when Prediction had their first episode. So, but yeah, man, a whole year of hard reads, bro, and we are, we're still out here doing the thing. So, hey, guys, if you ever see, anything about hard reads, make sure you get the word out there that this is if you're enjoying this podcast, get more of your friends involved, man. We very much appreciate when you guys show up. We very much appreciate when you guys answer my my tweet about the questions, because I love the Twitter questions. And we just very much appreciate you existing in general.
100%.
This will be on iTunes. This will be on Spotify. This will be on YouTube very soon. But yeah, man, keep on fighting the good fight, guys. Black Lives Matter. I'm TKbreezy.
I'm Austy.
And you guys have a good night. I'll see you on the next show soon.